Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Greetings, survivors. This is Eerie Knight of the Pseudo Posse, and today I've got a very niche, in the weeds type of topic to discuss with you all. Ever since the 2.0 update landed in June of 2025, something has been off with Horde bases. It's a small thing in and of itself, but it has had major consequences on Horde Night. This is what I am referring to. Notice anything peculiar? Really take a hard look. Still no? Yes? Maybe? Well, to put it bluntly, zombies now love to periodically bash on stair blocks for reasons. They'll come up the stairs towards your position with the sole intent of eating your brains, when suddenly they are distracted by more pressing matters. It happens often enough that having a block or two or more of your stairs getting destroyed is commonplace. In fact, I'm sure it has even led to some catastrophic failure in some of the bases you've all built ever since the 2.0 update. Why do zombies hate stairs so much now? And is there anything we can do about it? Let's dive into these questions and once again, make the stair pathways of your bases impervious to severe damage and ultimate ruin. Now, looking at this example, you might hypothesize that due to the odd shape of the stair pathway, it is causing zombies to periodically bash on the blocks as they path upwards. Possibly, but would it shock you all that this behavior is still seen in a straight staircase? Take this set of stairs here. At 13 blocks above the ground and a 4-meter deep pit, we've got a net 17 block drop that should eliminate most instances of destroy everything mode where zombies will randomly beat on surrounding blocks. We want to remove this factor from the equation to gauge whether or not zombies will still stop to bash on our stair blocks. Lo and behold, that seems to be the case. Just barely an hour into Horde, and we already have some steel blocks that have lost over 1,000 hit points. Displaying the AI behavior shows us these zombies have entered destroy area mode versus approach and attacking the target, which is what we'd expect this far from the drop. Roughly an in-game hour later, we are down to around 8,100 hit points. At this rate, it is conceivable we could lose this block if the Horde were to continue. Not only that, one destroyed block could cause zombies to bunch up, causing more random beating, snowballing the destruction of your pathway. But perhaps zombies have some lingering rage after the drop. To really ensure zombies running up the stairs should have no desire to randomly beat on blocks as a result of the drop itself, we need to go a little overboard. And by that, I mean adding some electric fence posts and darts at the entrance of the stairs. If zombies take damage from other non-player sources like electric traps, it resets their destroy everything mode and will retarget their AI back onto the player. So any zombie harboring any deep-seated hatred for everything blocky coming out of the pit should be cleansed and reset upon coming one with high voltage and pointy tips. And what is the result of this little experiment? Considering we have some number of minutes of video left, I am making the assumption as I write this that we are less than halfway through. The result should be obvious, though the why is not. Seemingly with whatever changes the Fun Pimps have made to block pathing and or the AI, it has affected their capacity to run upstairs without stopping to beat on blocks, without getting stuck or slowed down by other zombies. Very bizarre. At this point, I think finding an explanation as to the why is unsolvable. Let's chalk it up to some Fun Pimps programming magic. However, let's science the hell out of the second question we had at the start. What, if anything, can we do about it? The natural starting point would be to see if we can find a replacement shape that zombies will still run up but not hit. Barring that, we need to come up with some alternative design to stairs as we know it, which is something I'd like to avoid. We've got to start somewhere, so let's start with the simple ramp. Stairs have steps, whereas ramps are nice and smooth. Maybe the smoothness is easier on zombie feet. Maybe stubbed toes is the reason for all of this. Or maybe the world is nonsensical. Yeah, let's go with that explanation. Apparently the smoothness theory is not the answer. What if we go more blocky? The stairs-filled quarter is technically a stair block. It does have stairs in the name after all, and it is climbable, so it's definitely worth a shot. Let's start up another Horde, turn the power on, and observe. Doesn't take too long to find a random zombie stopping for the opportunity of engaging the stairs-filled quarter with fists. But this is not the end. We've got other alternatives to try. I really want to keep a share-shaped structure because, you know, it just works. Or it should. May I introduce the stairs 0-1 and the more gently sloped wedge stairs. The stair 01 has the same slope as the previous setups, whereas the wedge staircase needs twice the length to achieve the same overall height. Care to make any predictions at this point? For me, I think the stairs 0-1 will suffer the same fate, but I think the wedge has a better shot. Less steep, which may mean nothing, but zombies moving across a flat horizontal path don't stop to bash on the pathway, so it might be related. I'll give both a try, starting with the stairs 0-1. I let 2 hours of Horde pass by with similar electric fence dart trap setup as before. Upon inspecting the damage after those 2 hours, I was shocked, but not in a good way. It seemed blocks were even more heavily damaged. Some were down by nearly 4,000 hit points after 2 hours. Clearly the shape can't have an effect on the frequency of zombie attacks. We just need to go in the opposite direction with less of them. Now, on to the wedge stairs. Apparently zombies are too lazy to run towards the entrance and are opting for a shortcut. Well, we need to keep the test consistent, so a little barrier should solve the problem. Now the moment of truth. While the wedge stairs took much less of a beating than the previous shape, it was about on par with the regular stairs-filled shape. Quite the surprising result, as I was sure this had the best chance of mitigating the damage. That being said, I was actually glad it didn't work, as it would require many more resources to achieve the same relative drop height in most base designs. That would have been terrible, so on to the next idea. And where the hell do I go from here? We're about out of usable stair shapes, and clearly wedges with gentler slopes didn't do the trick either. And I don't even want to try the ramp 6 meter or 8 meter shapes, even if they would end up working. I can't imagine building a set of stairs using those. It would be exceedingly painful and material intensive to build. That's got me thinking actually. Maybe the shape category has something to do with it. Up until now, I've restricted myself to stairs and wedges, but perhaps I can find an alternative shape with some stair-like qualities in another category. And after a bit of searching, I've selected a potential candidate. Meet the cube half corner 0-1. Technically belongs to the square category of shapes, but has the same exact shape profile as the cube stairs filled quarter. There is no discernible, logical reason why two identically shaped blocks with different names should behave differently. But that is the exact reason this is going to work. Fun pimps magic, remember? That is the answer. All this time, I've been too logical. I need to be as random as the zombies, so let's give that a whirl. After about 2 hours with no dart traps or electric fence posts no less, we've incurred no more than 500 damage in one spot and less than 200 hit points of damage in other areas. Notice how the zombies are still entering destroy area mode. That seems to be unavoidable. However, unlike before, a lot of their hits are missing for some reason. They also seem to have a bit of trouble climbing the shape unlike stairs-filled quarter, same exact shape profile, but completely different behavior. Despite their random climbing struggles, some zombies run up just fine, and those that don't happen to not really attack the surrounding blocks despite bunching up a bit more. This is rather fascinating. I did notice the corners at the bottom of the staircase took some extra damage. After experimenting with some designs, I came up with this setup, which is rather easy. Place 2 more cube, half corner 0-1 shapes side by side and on the opposite. Fill the middle with 2 full cubes, and on the cube closest to the staircase, a cube half on top. And that's it. Not only is it easy, but it works better than any stair corner shape I have ever seen. They rarely attack it, and virtually no damage is taken even after a couple hours of Horde. Zombies crowd around the region but are not interested in taking any errant swipes at the surrounding blocks. I was not hoping to find something this good, but there you go. What's almost as impressive is that on the second attempt at the Horde, the damage spread on the rest of the staircase was even less than the first test. If what we saw before was the upper limit of damage, and this here on the lower end, that is entirely acceptable to me. The damage is far less than using the stair shapes directly. Additionally, the incremental damage is so pitiful there's no chance of destruction of your blocks unless you trigger a demo or cop explosions. If left to their own devices, they do negligible damage. Your stairs will easily last the entire Horde, and your zombie looping path will survive the night. At least the stairs part of it will, but that's really the crux of the issue. Not much else to say at this point, except go give it a try. What are you waiting for? If you're using an elevated base with or without a zombie dropper, you definitely should use this design. It works for all zombies, including dogs, and from what I have seen, it takes far less damage than any other staircase configuration. Have you got any other mystifying or seemingly random issues you'd like me to take a look at in 7 Days to Die? Let me know in the comments, and if it piques my interest, I'll do a deep dive into the topic in a future video. Hope all the information in this video was helpful, and if so, consider giving the video a like, as that helps us more than anything. The YouTube algorithm likes them likes, so you should too. And if you aren't already a subscriber to the channel, hop on board already. An overwhelming percentage of our audience isn't subscribed, so please feel free to join the posse and tap the bell for notifications so you won't miss the next very niche video. Last but not least, Taco and I want to extend our gratitude to our Patreon community, whose generosity keeps the channel growing strong. On that note, this is Eerie Knight signing off. See you all in the next one.